La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, I love my apples. I'm a happy apple farmer. I like to wear green clothes. And I'm living my best life with my uncle. Yeah.
Hello?
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 Where is that voice coming from?
Hey, I'm the princess of
Princess?
the princess.
Excuse me, you mean
yes.
Prince?
No, I'm the princess of Hyrule. My name is Zelda. I need some help.
You don't sound like a princess. You sound like a prince.
I'm being kept in a dungeon in the castle by a giant armor that has a ball that spins it around and tries to hit people.
I think I ate too many apples. I'm hearing voices.
No, you didn't eat enough apples. I just need help.
I don't know how to help you.
Just come to the castle.
Where's the castle?
Up the road. Just pull the tree out of the ground and just jump in the hole. And
I can't just pull my trees out of the ground. I might damage the apples.
Not your apple tree. The tree that's in front of on the side of the castle on the gate. Just pull it out and just jump down and just follow that path. Eventually you'll find me.
I'm too small to pull up a tree.
Listen, I just need you to get me out of here. I really have to go to the bathroom and they won't let me.
I can sympathize with that.
So please come rescue this beautiful, manly-sounding princess. So
I'll bring you some of my apples.
Can you not bring apples, please?
But my apples are the best in Hyrule.
Didn't you just start farming?
My apples are the best in Hyrule.
Okay, we're going in circles. Just come get me. And you know what?
What?
Bring some of those apples because it's Zelda Month, and today we're talking A Link to the Past. Hello, welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and I'm your host, and I said that out of order, and with me is my beautiful wife and co-host, which is usually, I'm chewing my words, Karen.
This is when I would say, I wish I had an apple to bite into instead of saying my name, but I'm so thrown off by whatever the fuck just came out of your mouth.
I have no idea what happened. And honestly, if I were you and I had that apple, instead of biting it, I would throw it at my head.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Yeah, I chewed that up real fucking bad. But that's enough restarting the fucking episode because we've done that once already because our levels were off. Because guess what?
We have new equipment.
Yeah, and
same microphones.
You're too far away from the microphone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you in the face.
So yeah, we have a new computer and I've been since Thursday, was it that I got it?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
And you mean I got it. I received it.
Well, since you received
UPS,
it.
Because
yes.
I was working from home.
So
I saved it from the rain.
So since Thursday, I've been trying to set up the computer to have it work perfectly fine. And last night, my cousin came over, and we spent like 4 or 5 hours setting up the computer.
I passed the fuck out.
And he left like at 1 a.m.
I was gone.
Because we had a lot of work to do. But hey, we're recording the first episode of Zelda Month with new equipment. And this is going to be fun.
Woo.
So before we start Zelda Month, what can you tell me about Zelda? What do you know about Zelda before I made you read the comic? And
well, before I met you, I definitely thought that Link was Zelda. As most people who don't know anything about it tend to think.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or I might be putting that assumption on the majority of people.
No, a lot of people do say, can you imagine if Zelda was a girl? And they're referring to Link.
Oh my god. I feel like when I found out that Robin Williams' daughter was named Zelda, I was confused about why she was named Zelda after a little boy elf. It's like naming a little girl Samwise. We should name our next dog Samwise.
Samantha Wise.
Oh.
Or Samantha Smart?
Yes, No.
So is that your extent of your experiences with Zelda? Just that?
And the thing about thinking that art at GameStop was Beauty and the Beast art until I looked at it closer. Because it's like the stained glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looked like the stained glass window from Beauty and the Beast.
I see.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you don't have...
And wishing it were Beauty and the Beast instead of Zelda so that I could buy it.
So you don't have much experience or anything with Zelda?
Nada.
Well, this month, you're going to get overwhelmed by it.
I know, I see.
So I finished the game we're going to talk about today, which is A Link to the Past. And then I am right now in the last dungeon of Ocarina of Time. So I'm probably going to finish that game tonight while I'm editing this. And then we're going to talk about that next week with our buddy Max, who...
You mean my buddy? You're just saying he's your buddy, but you've never met him.
He's my internet buddy.
He's my real life buddy.
And I listen to his...
He gives really big hugs.
He does?
He does.
Now I want
He
to
might not hug
more.
you.
Max, you owe me a hug. Anyways, he has a podcast called Rag Shoe. It's a really good podcast. They're sadly on hiatus right now. They're still trying to, find the scheduling that works for both him and his co-host, Cade. And once they get back, it's going to be great because that podcast was actually really, really fun.
I miss him. It's going to be fun seeing him.
Yeah. So we're going to have him over. We're going to have a day of it, and we're going to record, and it's going to be a great time. So look forward to next week. And also we're talking Ocarina of Time, which is probably the best game.
I have thoughts already.
The best game ever. What are your thoughts? Give us a little preview.
You want me to go ahead and tell you what my thought is?
A preview.
Okay, so I took notes as I was reading this manga, and he insisted on reading my notes before recording. And
I wanted to see what you thought, because I haven't read it either.
One of my notes was, who the fuck would have known that the ocarina was a flute that looks like a fucking gourd? I thought it was going to be something epic. The Ocarina of Time. It's a flute. It's an instrument. That looks like a gourd.
You're probably the only book nerd in the entire world that doesn't know what an ocarina is.
What? Am I supposed to know what an ocarina is?
Yes, you're supposed to be smart.
Well, I'm people think I'm smart. I'm just really good at memorization. That's how I made it out of school in the top.
That's how you became valedictorian?
You know, I always told myself that I wasn't really that smart, that I was just good at the memorization. But when I graduated from the University of Georgia with honors, I was like, suck that, bitches, I really am smart.
And then you fucked up by marrying an idiot.
No, you're really intelligent in your own way.
Yeah, thank you.
You are, though. I'm serious. You're just making it sound bad.
You're calling me an idiot on my
no,
own show.
I'm not.
All right. So we planned on having guests all month long. Unfortunately, the guest that we had lined up for this week had some last-minute issues happen, and he wasn't able to come on. But we will have him on the show eventually in the future. We're really excited to have him on because he is very funny, and everybody's going to love him.
Yeah, he kept telling me I was going to love him, and now I still don't know because I haven't met him yet.
Yeah, but he's great. He's going to be great. All right, so do you think we should hop in and just get this dissected? Maybe, I know we're not going to get an hour out of this episode, or maybe we will, but we'll see. Let's try to get at least 40 minutes.
Last time we said we weren't even going to get 20 minutes. We wound up recording for more than an hour.
That's true.
We just need to find a tangent somewhere and we'll be fine.
Yeah, but
we normally do.
That tangent was about aliens. There are aliens in Zelda.
Oh my god, don't go there yet. Just wait.
I
didn't see any aliens.
No, it's in Majora's Mask in the game.
Well, we're going to talk about that later. Don't spoil it now.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to spoil it.
We already spoiled what an ocarina is. A flute gourd. Gourd flute. A gourd flute.
Oh god, you're just making it sound terrible.
It is. I don't know if it is.
Shame on you.
Sorry.
Shame on you. All right, so let's
You're just thinking about a flute gourd, aren't you? A gourd flute.
I don't know what's going on. Let's just go ahead and jump into discussion time. All right, so do you want to tell me what we're talking about today and what it is and where it came from and how do we make you? Nobody knows.
Pugs!
Thank you for getting that.
I love pugs.
Me too.
They're so wrinkly. I'm looking at Hibiscus right now.
Not Pugsley?
Not Pugsley. Pugsley is behind me. He has pug art, and Pugsley is his former beloved pug. But the other pugs are just art pieces that he has named.
Yes.
One of them is Hibiscus.
Yes.
What's the other one?
I think Oswald is somewhere in the room.
And then we have salt and pepper shakers that are shaped like pugs, and they're also named.
Yes, one's black and the other's brown. So the black one is Tanner and the brown one is Blackie.
Because we're adults.
Hey, we're not going to have any children. We got to name something.
It's true.
So.
All right. So today we'll be discussing The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which takes place in the hero is defeated timeline. Oh, I was like, what does this mean? Should I reread that? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Let's keep that part where you ask me
No,
if I
shut up. I hate you. Okay, so it takes place in the hero is defeated timeline. It is an action-adventure game developed and published on April 13th, 1992. We were babies. By
I was
Nintendo.
2 years old.
I was not even one. I was like 6 months old. 5 months old. Oh, by Nintendo for the SNES?
Yes, or SNES, doesn't matter.
SNES. You can play the game currently on GBA, 3DS, Switch, and Wii U via their virtual consoles.
Except for the GBA. The GBA, you actually need to buy the actual game to play it for some fucking reason.
Ignore us.
Yeah, that slipped in my mind, but...
And hubby played the 3DS version.
I did. I've also been it on Super Nintendo, GBA, Wii U, and Switch.
You've played it everywhere.
I've played this game everywhere.
Is it different at all?
No.
Oh, no.
The only difference is
It's
that...
like a different experience?
No, the GBA one, they added the voice effects from Ocarina of Time because the GBA was technically, it was 16 bits stronger than the SNES, so it could handle some voice samples. So
GBA is Game Boy Advance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one technically is stronger, so they added the voice effects, and you can hear Link scream every time he
Lovely.
swings his sword. Along with that, we're discussing the book, right?
Yes, the A Link to the Past manga written by Akira Himekawa. That was released on April 14th, 2017, so almost to the day. I can't do math. 15? No, 14 years later? Is that right? No, I'm all wrong. No, way more than that. 17 plus 8.
Let's do something simpler.
25, 24.
Let's do something simpler.
25 years.
Let's take
2017 minus 1992. It's 25.
Okay.
It is 25, yes!
Oh, for the 25th
25
anniversary.
years plus 1 day later. So it is part of the Legendary Edition short mangas based on a few Zelda games, 3 of which we will be discussing this month.
Yeah. So it's going to be...
3 others, right? No, 3 total.
Two more.
Yes.
Yeah, after
Because
today.
then we're going into the big books.
Big books.
The big books.
What big books?
The Historia stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna
Art
be
stuff.
That's gonna be in the final episode, which you have to do all that research. I am gonna leave that up to you because the guest that we're having,
college.
the guest that we're having is just gonna talk Zelda with us, and you know nothing.
Yeah, I know.
So
shit.
you are gonna have to
I
guide
am
those
Jon
episodes.
Snow.
You are gonna guide those episodes, and you're gonna do an awesome job.
Thanks.
And I'll help you set up the script and whatever.
Please,
it's not
God.
it's not gonna be too hard. All right. So do we want to get started on the story?
I suppose we could.
Okay. So run me through the story of the manga. And if you guys heard something weird, that was me moving the microphone. Run me through the story of the manga, and we'll see how it differs from the game. And just remember, if you haven't played this game, too bad. It's almost 30 years old. And
No, it's more than 30 years old at this point.
1992.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, it's almost 30 years
30
old.
years old.
Duh.
And if by this time you haven't played this game, that's on you. So we're going to be spoiling the entire game.
Shame.
So let's go.
Okay, so the manga starts out with little Link. I keep wanting to say little Zelda. Little Link on his apple farm with his uncle who has raised him because he's a little orphan. And he's just asleep, and he hears Princess Zelda speaking to him in his sleep, telling him to come rescue her. And his uncle just kind of like disappears. He goes down in the floor in the dungeon near his apple farm, goes and gets Zelda, but on his way there discovers that his uncle is dead. All of his family is dead now. But at least he gets like some last parting words with the uncle before he goes kaput right before his eyes.
So there's just a couple of things that are off there. First off, Link is never an apple farmer.
He loves his apples. The whole first couple pages are just about apples. It's so cute.
Yeah, they are about apples and how he wants to be the greatest apple farmer and call his farm Link's farm. And okay, that's cute. In the game, when Zelda is speaking to Link, he hears her in his sleep. Somehow, his uncle hears her too. Later on in the book, we find out that they both have Royal Guard blood. So that gives them some sort of...
Link.
Or heroic ability. So
a link.
And in the game, the uncle says, "Stay here. Don't follow me. I'm going to go somewhere. I'll see you in the morning." And then when he gets to the dungeon, he finds his uncle beat up. Right
dead.
There. He doesn't die in the game.
Dead.
He doesn't die in the game.
He dies in the manga.
But that's terrible.
I was also really upset by the fact that all of his apples wound up harmed. Like, all the apples just, like, started falling from the trees, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I wonder why they just had him, like, picking up one and dragging it with him, and that being kind of like a focal point in that one scene.
Apple for, I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, so Link finds Zelda. There's bad Aghanim, who made face masks cool before the pandemic started. He looks like he would wear eyeliner.
He would.
He definitely would. And I imagine, even though this was black and white, I imagine his outfit being purple. Is it purple?
I think it's like yellow and purplish.
It doesn't matter because Link has pink hair and Zelda has brown hair, so that's confusing. In the game. I was very thrown off, even though I'm reading a black and white manga. So basically we find out that Aghanim is trying to sacrifice Zelda as like his 7th sacrifice to break the barrier with the Dark Realm or the Dark World. Is it Dark Realm or Dark World? Dark
Both.
Earth. Oh, okay.
Both.
That's why I can't remember, because it's both.
Because it was the Golden Land or the Golden Realm, and then it's both. Then it becomes Dark Realm or Dark World. Yeah, so it's actually the 7 sacrifices. Each maiden is a descendant of the sages that sealed Ganon in that world.
Hold up, is this based on Greek mythology?
I have no idea.
Okay, so I Ubered a lot today, and I listened to an audiobook the entire time called The Maidens, and it's all, I don't want to spoil anything because this book just published, but it's a thriller, it's a murder mystery, and there's a lot of Greek mythology, and these girls who have like joined this cult, and they're called the Maidens, and they're all being killed off and sacrificed.
I mean, but it's not that kind of sacrifice because they did say in the manga, they're sacrificed, but they're being held in the bottom floor of that dungeon.
But it's still a bunch of maidens being sacrificed.
And these are descendants of the sages from Ocarina of Time, supposedly.
From the gourd flute.
Okay.
Of time.
Enough with the gourd flute. All right, where were you going next?
Okay, so he's trying to kill her. But Link goes and talks to some old man and finds out that he can, like, get the sword of... What's it called again?
The Master Sword?
The Master Sword. He can get the Master Sword and be the hero of this story. Save Zelda. Because Aghanim, like, breaks the barrier and Zelda gets flung away. It was all a little bit confusing there because it all happened so fast. It was like none of it's really fleshed out. It's just boom, boom, boom. So all this stuff happens.
So in the game, that doesn't happen until after Link pulls the Master Sword. So you go through those 3 dungeons, you get the medallions, You get the Master Sword, and immediately while you're walking back to the sanctuary where Zelda's at, she talks to you again and she says, "Hurry, Aghanim is here. He's taking me away." When you get there, the old man in the sanctuary is dead.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are only like 5 pages, and over the course of those 5 pages, he gets all the medallions, the sword. He's in the Dark World.
Yeah, immediately. That shit threw me off because I was like, he didn't do anything to get those
fast.
fucking medallions.
No, he
in
didn't
the
do
game,
shit. He climbed a hill.
That's it. Literally, that's it. Because in the game, you literally have to go through 3 dungeons to get the medallions. Well, another thing, you forgot somebody.
The old man in the bar who was
Gadia,
crying.
Jidia.
Oh, Ganti.
She is not in the game.
Well,
at all.
Good, because I was really confused by her presence and why I'd never heard of her before. Yeah, so Ganti is there. Ganti's going to help him, but then she finds out that he's like a descendant of the Hyrulean warriors or something.
The Royal Guard.
They killed her parents, so she has to kill him, but she's going to help him first, and then she'll kill him. Because that makes sense.
Yeah, because when he goes to the desert to get the... we forgot something. That one statue that was trying to kill him, and he just like guides it to the water, and it falls into the water. And then Sahasrara was like, "Oh, that was very heroic of you." And she says, "Running away was heroic?"
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. We might as well just open the manga and read it to them at this point.
I mean, yeah, but...
I'm just hitting the main points, okay?
None of that stuff happened in the fucking game. Like, when you meet Sahasrara, you have to go to a dungeon next to him to get that medallion. He doesn't give it to you immediately.
Just watching him play through the first couple minutes of the game, he's barely at home for 2 seconds, and he's already in the castle. It's like all the little bits at the beginning were so drug out, it took a while for him to actually get to the castle. And then... he only has one person blocking his path in this castle. In the game, he's having to sword swipe all these little creatures. They're just coming up out of the walls. And there's only one in the manga.
Yeah.
One.
That, what was it called?
And he's very easily defeated.
Yeah, he throws a jar in its head and wins. That's it.
Done.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in this manga that I did like, and there's a lot of stuff that was like, okay, that's just extending the story for no reason.
That's cute.
Like Ganti and yeah.
It helps for people like me who feel sick watching the game.
That's
and I
true.
can read it.
When Link gets stabbed by the scorpion, she had already swore that she was going to kill him, and she comes back to save him.
Mm-hmm. She had a crush. I knew she had a crush.
She had a huge
I totally
crush.
saw that coming. She also reminded me of Sailor Moon. I think because of the like star thing on her face. Yeah. Total Sailor Moon vibes. So they go to the Dark World and everybody's a beast. All those monsters and everything reminded me. Some of it reminded me of Uzumaki. There was one, oh gosh, I can't remember exactly what it was. But the way it was like warped reminded me of Uzumaki, but like a cute version of Uzumaki.
I don't know exactly which one you're talking about.
I don't remember exactly which one I'm talking about either.
Okay.
There were so many.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
The butterfly.
Yes, Mothula.
Mothula?
Yeah, Mothula. That one reminded me of Uzumaki.
Yeah.
And Godzilla.
Before we get there, I'm going to tell you something funny.
Okay.
In Link to the Past in the game, whenever you go to the Dark World without finding the orb that protects you from becoming a monster, whenever you get to the Dark World, you're a little rabbit man.
What?
Yeah, he's all pink with ears and his green uniform and everything, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, Mothula, and I did like how they did the bosses from the dungeons. They kind of named all of them, except for the one with the eyes. That one they didn't talk about. But each one, they said that it was a person that had gotten stuck there.
Which was sad.
And they had been transformed because of their...
greed or their flaw, basically.
Yeah. And they're... Oh, no, actually. All right, keep going.
So basically, they're helping all of these monster people. Hooray. Like, I didn't really think that was the point of this story. Why are we going off on a tangent here? I thought we were trying to get to Zelda.
So the point was that they were going to save the maidens from the dungeons because they were stuck in the dungeons and whatever. And Aghanim turned these people into monsters so that they would stop Link. So it wasn't that he was saving them. It was that he had to fight them.
That makes sense. I see. But in fighting them, he saved them.
Yeah. And none of that saving them thing happens in the game. Like, these are monsters that you have to kill. So that was the difference. And I did like that part of the manga a lot more than just, these are monsters, kill them.
It was cute.
Yeah.
It had a purpose.
And
after I just said it didn't have a purpose, it had a purpose.
No, it does have a purpose. After I said, okay, so the girl, what was her name again?
Ganti.
She gets turned into a monster.
She does.
She got turned into the monster that annoyed me the most in the fucking game.
Why did it annoy you the most?
So that monster has 3 heads, right? One is a normal head that you can't damage. It has a head that spits ice and one that spits fire. So the one that spits ice, you have to hit it with the fire rod. And the one that spits fire, you have to hit it with the ice rod. So the ice rod is very slow, and both of those rods drain your magic really hard. And unless you have a magic potion or one of the blue potions that fills your hearts and your magic, you're going to run out. You're not going to be able to finish that fight, and you're going to die.
I totally
that annoyed
knew.
The shit out of me.
I totally knew that monster was her. It was very predictable. Very predictable.
Especially since Aghanim sat her down and did the whole thing where I'm turning you. You can get your revenge, but I don't want it. And you can kill Link, but I don't want to.
It's ridiculous.
That whole part was so stupid.
I mean, honestly, a lot of parts of it were kind of stupid. But it was cute. So he fights homegirl Ganti. Ganti reveals that she has a crush on him. Like, oh, I would never amount to a princess. Woe is me. Then there's all this shit with Link seeing his parents' spirits and his uncle's spirit.
You're missing a lot of stuff.
I am? Oh, then you go ahead.
Pull out your notes. Don't you have all your notes?
I didn't write down the whole plot of the book.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I do.
So he beats her, right? And he gets really angry at Aghanim because...
Oh, yeah!
Aghanim forced him to fight her.
And he's like, I hate you!
And he starts turning into a wolf.
Mm-hmm. A little beastie boy. And Aghanim's like, I tricked you! Ha ha ha!
Now you can use the Master Sword.
Blah.
And Zelda saves him.
He looks like a little lion cub.
So after Zelda saves him, she tells the story of how Aghanim became bad. And it turns out that Aghanim and Link's dad were friends.
So sad.
Which wasn't part of the game either.
So sad.
And he wanted to help people. He ended up getting corrupted and doing a deal with...
Aghanim, that is, not Link's dad.
He ended up doing a deal with Ganon. Oh, when he says, oh, he was friends with a left-handed knight, I was like, that's Link's dad.
Oh my god.
Because Link is left-handed.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is.
Did they ever address that? I know they talked about his dad being left-handed, but did they say anything about Link being left-handed?
No, but if you play Zelda games, it's common knowledge to see that Link holds his shield up with his right hand and a sword with his left. So, except in, I think, Breath of the Wild and the Wii Zelda games, he's right-handed in those because of the majority of the world being right-handed. So they had to...
compromise.
Yeah. They couldn't have a left-handed guy when everybody else is right-handed. And
that makes
it's based on motion controls. Yeah. So, Ganon betrays Aghanim. They fight Ganon. You explain how they fight Ganon?
I was not prepared for Ganon. Okay, so my experience with Ganondorf up until this point, isn't he a playable character in Smash?
Yeah, in Smash Bros.
So I knew he was there, but I guess I never really looked at him. And we played Cards Against Humanity that one night. I think I've mentioned this before. When my friend's friend played either a Ganondorf card or a Gandalf card and thought that it was the other person. Like, it's that wizard from Lord of the Rings.
No,
it was Ganondorf.
The card was Gandalf, and she thought it was Ganondorf.
Okay. Yeah, I was very upset. We were both very upset by that.
She was upset because of Lord of the Rings. I was upset because Zelda.
I was really bothered by the fact that when they when Zelda is telling the history of Ganondorf and Aghanim, when they show Ganon, it's like a shadow, and he looks kind of like a werewolf, and he's a fucking pig.
Yeah, he's a pig.
He's a pig.
Giant pig monster.
I didn't know he was a pig monster! Does he look like a pig in Smash?
He turns into a pig for his final Smash. Well, not a pig, like a humanoid giant monster pig.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared.
No?
No.
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 So what happens after that?
He shows his greed. He's very, very, very greedy. All he says is, I want more! I want more! I need more!
I like the manga. But it feels like this Ganondorf had no...
He had no personality except being greedy.
Yeah. And the thing is, the Ganondorf in the game barely has any screen time, barely talks, and has more personality than this one. So
that's sad.
I don't know. They also did 2 games in 1 book, so I'm guessing, space for both stories might have led to some cuts. One of them being Ganondorf, but...
And I don't remember exactly how they kill him. Did they kill him with the sword?
Yeah, they killed him. I think Link hit him. Zelda enchanted the arrow tip from Ganti's ear.
Yeah, her earring.
And she shot him, and he died.
Because Zelda reveals to Ganti that she was raised by a bandit who wanted to turn her against her true kind when her parents were actually the warriors too. Like Link's
Hyrule
parents.
Knights, yeah,
those. So they're like brother and sister, basically.
Ew,
I'm
creepy.
making my own assumption there. But
so they kill Ganon. Link touches the Triforce, and it grants him his wish. What is Link's wish?
He wishes for an apple farm, the greatest apple farm in the kingdom. And his wish is granted.
And that's how he saves the world, by being
like,
Samwise.
He's like a little Samwise. I immediately thought of Sam thinking about turning the world into a garden with the ring.
That's funny.
That is a total Samwise move.
Yeah.
A little Samwise Keebler elf.
He does look like a Keebler elf.
They all look like Keebler elves, especially in that damn game. They're so little and squat.
So let's talk about the game. Because after he wishes for the apple orchard or whatever, what is it? The apple orchard. He stays with Zelda for the rest of their lives, or so it is recorded in history.
Do they get married? He doesn't marry Ganti, his sister.
I don't think Link and Zelda have that.
They're asexual.
No, the thing is, they never explicitly say that Link has any romantic interest in Zelda, or vice versa. He is just fulfilling his duty as a knight, even if he isn't a knight. So I don't think there's any game, except for maybe Skyward Sword, in where they have any romantic involvement with each other.
I mean, they look like brother and sister. That's what I thought the entire time.
That they were brother and sister?
They look like brother and sister, and it is really off-putting.
They never kiss, so it's okay.
I know, but it's just like, it's implied, I guess. It's not really, I don't know. I feel like it's easy for you to imply, or you to assume.
Like they lead you on?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the game.
Us.
Let's talk about the game. First off, let's start with the graphics, like we always do. The graphics are beautiful. They're very colorful pixel graphics. Every time that I think Super Nintendo, there's 2 games that come to my mind. The first one is Mario World, and the second one is A Link to the Past. What did you think about the graphics?
I thought it was very colorful. I'm still thrown off by Link's pink hair. Pixels, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to differentiate the characters. I don't know. I don't see them very well. Plus, like for instance, when Link is still lying in bed there at the beginning and Zelda's talking to him, I couldn't tell that was a person in the bed. But this is coming from a non-gamer perspective, okay. So
I can see that. I can see that.
And they're like, guess who that is? Like, it's a little blue-haired person. I don't know who the fuck it is. It was his uncle. Definitely didn't look a damn thing like the manga illustration.
So, kind of the same story beats. Link gets woken up, goes to the castle, picks Zelda up, takes her to the church. After that, he goes on a quest to get the Master Sword. And let's talk sound design now. The sound design is very, very impressive. The music is amazing. It does push the sound chip of the SNES to its limit. And it actually makes good music that sticks with you. We did notice something that I had never noticed before when I played this game. Can you tell me what we noticed?
You never noticed the rain
Never
before? You're
noticed
kidding
the
me.
rain.
That was one of the first things I noticed. I thought it was raining outside.
So I had noticed that when you were walking around inside the castle, you could hear the rain. What I didn't notice is that if you went underground, the rain would stop. And then when you would come up to an area that was above ground, you could hear the rain inside the castle.
It was pretty cool.
That shit blew my mind.
And it sounded pretty realistic.
Yeah, the fact that they managed to do that in 1992, that is fucking bananas. That is crazy. So not only does the game look awesome, it sounds awesome. And the gameplay doesn't stay behind either, because it's the classic fun Zelda gameplay, same as the original, except they made so many improvements that it just blew whatever the original Zelda was out of the water and made what the formula in this game is the new standard going forward, including the 3D games. So basically, collect 3 MacGuffins, get Master Sword, collect 6 or 7 more MacGuffins, go kill Ganondorf.
Pig Man. Yeah,
they did change that formula for Breath of the Wild, but pretty much if you're going to play a Zelda game, you're going to follow that formula. And it works. It's just, you know what you're getting when you play Zelda. I love the world because it's so open and it has so many nooks and crannies that you can go into to explore, and you can find new items or rupees or heart containers or whatever you need. You can find as long as you explore. So if you explore every single space that's open in the world, you're going to get everything in the game. Break every wall, destroy, burn down shit, pull plants out of the ground, dig holes.
Apples!
Ram trees and get apples. That's the closest you're going to get to apples in this game.
Apples were a huge part of that manga.
They were.
Huge.
Link, he had an apple. He
carried an apple with a sentimental apple with him the entire time. And he gave some of it to Ganti to bring her back to health.
They enchanted it and he didn't even eat it. No, he didn't eat it. He gave part of it to Ganti, and that's it.
You almost called her Shantae.
I did. I always wanted to call her Shantae when I was reading that thing. But yeah, so Zelda, it's just fun. It's just an action-adventure game. It's like your fantasies of when you're a kid of going out and exploring the world and fighting monsters with a sword and a shield. Except it's a video game and you can play it and it's fun. So there are a bunch of weapons additional to your sword and shield that you can use. There are boomerangs, there's bows and arrows.
An earring?
Earrings?
Yeah.
No.
Ganti's earring.
No. No, so you do get the bow and arrow, and then later on in the game, there's a fairy that you can give the bow and arrow to. And when she gives it back, she'll make it silver. And you know, that silver arrow is actually kind of important because that's what you need to use to kill Ganondorf in the final fight.
Like the earring.
Yeah, so you do get some weapons that kind of fucking suck. Like the rods. The rods are fucking terrible. There's one that's fire, there's one that's ice. The ice one is really, really slow, and it drains your magic like fucking crazy. There is one creature that you can find in the dark world that says, I will burden you by doubling your magic capacity. What it does is that it halves the amount of magic that each item uses, but I still feel like it's a ton of magic that's being used.
I mean...
So, apart from that, there are a couple of problems that I did have with the game that I really hated. The first one being that you get the Master Sword, right? Master Sword's supposed to be end-all, be-all weapon that nobody can stand up to.
That illustration looked really cool when it was like covered in vines and shit. He whips it out.
That whole scene was really fucking awesome. They did that awesomely.
It was really pretty.
Yeah, they did that great. So you get the Master Sword, right? And immediately you go fight Aghanim. Aghanim throws you into the Dark World. When you're in the Dark World, your Master Sword is useless. It causes barely any damage. And
although, I mean, didn't that technically sort of happen in the manga too? But only because he was flawed and started becoming a beast, so then he couldn't wield it.
Not really.
No, okay.
No. Kind of that kind of did happen, but not really.
Yeah.
So that one problem really drug me out of the game. I remembered that I do kind of hate those first 3 dungeons of the Dark World because you're so weak. You're so underpowered compared to everything else in the game, to the point where you can have as many heart containers as you can find up to that point in the game, and you're hit by a couple of enemies and you're dead, and then you have the fairies, and the fairies do revive you automatically once you die, but they're useless because they don't heal you up completely. So you don't have your beam to keep enemies away from your Master Sword, because that is one cool thing. Once you get the Master Sword, if you have full health, he throws a beam that keeps enemies away. So I wish that it would have had a little bit better balancing in that aspect, because once you hit the 3rd dungeon and you get the mitt that is able to lift heavier objects, you can find a dwarf that you take back to the regular world, and it upgrades your Master Sword and makes it the Tempered Sword, which is cool. Still a bit underpowered and doesn't do as much damage as if you'd want. Then you get the blue mail in the ice dungeon, and that makes it so that you take half damage instead of full damage.
I mean, that's nice.
The next upgrade isn't until the end of the game.
What?
So at the end of the game, in the last dungeon before you go fight Ganon, you get the red mail, which only lets you take 1/3 of the damage received. So it still feels like a lot, but some crappy little enemies don't do any damage to you at all. And then you go to a fairy and you give her the sword, and she gives you the golden sword, which that's the sword that actually feels like should have been the Master Sword, because that one does cause the damage that the weapon that's supposed to beat evil should cause.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So, and that just kind of kills the pacing, because, you're finally powerful, but it's the end of the game. And if you're like me, that you just want to do everything before you hit the dungeons, there's not going to be anything left for you to do once you get that stuff. Just finish the fucking game. So that part really annoyed me, but I do love how beautiful the game is. The game has a classic story of save the world, save the princess, save the maidens so that they can seal away the evil that you have to fight. It has fun gameplay. It has creative puzzles. The pacing seems a bit off, but this is just a classic Zelda game that just became the standard of what Zelda should be. And there's actually a really good video by Ego Raptor called Sequelitis, where he compares the original Zelda to Link to the Past. And he does make amazing points on why this game is so much better, and why this game what this game did to build on the original that makes it stand out above it and actually make it a better sequel. But overall, this game is fucking 5 stars.
It was fun, learning more about, I guess, why you like this so much. I can see it, even though I felt like pacing was off with this too, because this stuff, it felt like should have taken a while to
happen.
Yeah, it was just boom, boom, boom. I was like, okay,
cool. There was one scene where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go save this maid." No, what was it? I'm gonna get the 3rd medallion. He was getting the 3rd medallion, and it cut from him getting the red one to him running up some stairs and some giant worm chasing him. Mm-hmm. So, where the hell did that worm come from?
It was all very rushed. It is a very short manga, though, so...
It is.
But I guess all manga is short.
You actually didn't tell me. What did you think about the manga? What score are you going to give it?
I need to reference my sources. I don't remember the exact number I gave it.
Okay.
So I gave it 4 stars. I tried to really take into account that I'm reading a manga or a graphic novel when rating them. I don't want to rate them as harshly as I would a regular novel. I still don't feel like this really had any notable flaws except what we just talked about, where it was just a little too fast.
Yeah.
But it was really cute. I felt like I came away from it understanding more about this world than I did before. Because especially when Zelda explains the whole thing with Aghanim and Ganondorf, I felt like that was explained.
I really like when they explained the war between Ganon and the Kingdom of Hyrule, or was it Ganon and? Anyways, when he created the Dark Realm, when they explained that word, that to me that is amazing.
That's what I love.
That's great Zelda lore that doesn't really get covered in the games. It gets kind of brushed over, but it doesn't go as deep into it as they did in the manga.
That's the stuff I love.
I also really liked the art style. And
yeah, the art and the manga.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that art style, it reminds me of 90s anime, but with a higher code of resolution on it.
Sailor Moon.
Better than Sailor Moon.
So yeah, I gave it 4 stars.
Nice. So that is the beginning of Zelda Month, right? And
you didn't rate your game.
I did. I gave it 5 stars.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Oops.
So this is, overall from all the Zelda games, this is probably like my number 5 that I like the most.
Damn.
This is low on the list of Zelda games. The highest rated one is next week's, and I am having a blast replaying it. I'm almost done, and then I'm going to tackle Majora's Mask, which I have never beaten. I plan on doing it for the first time. And
good luck.
We'll see how that goes. That's actually a very short game, so I should be able to get it done quick. But yeah. So do you want to go into housekeeping?
Housekeeping.
All right. So for housekeeping, we have the usual. Go sign up for our Patreon, $2 a month. We have to still post the Hades giveaway stuff that we haven't.
got it ready. We just haven't posted it.
Yeah, because we got to read a lot of stuff.
We fucked
everywhere.
up the computer and lost all of our giveaway entry shit.
Yeah.
We didn't lose it, just temporarily. We couldn't access it.
Yeah. But we'll get these posted. Maybe by nighttime when you're hearing this episode on release day, it'll be up. And you'll be able to, well, Patreon supporters are already going to be entered, whether they want to or not. Remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at anovelconsole and on Facebook at facebook.com/anovelconsole. Don't forget to tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms and that they can also listen on YouTube by searching for A Novel Console. Don't forget to tell them to subscribe, like, and comment, which we would be humble if they did so. You should also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts so that more people can find us. Also, we're doing Zelda Month. We're going to hold off all the emails until the end of the month so we can get them read in the final episode unless, you have something important you want to say about Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, which we do have one that we are going to talk about next week. And just email us at anovelconsole@gmail.com. We'll read your email on the show. And if you got something you got to say that's not Zelda related, just let us know. We'll go ahead and say it too. And our art was done by Metamorphic on Instagram. Carradine, is there something you want to say before we go?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Say what you want to say.
What am I saying?
Do you like Zelda?
I like Zelda. It was fun.
All right, it's only going to get funner from here.
So much fun with the gourd flute.
Yep. So we'll see you guys next week with our guest. For the first time, we're going to have a guest, and it is going to be a fun episode. So you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, guys.